Hello and welcome to news broadcasts on TayNinhTV with some latest events in the province as well as in nationwide. And now coming to details. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2025 marked an important turning point in propaganda and mass mobilization work when the Provincial Party Committee's Propaganda and Mass Mobilization Department officially come into operation after merging from two previous specialized departments.
This is not only a meaningful event in terms of organizational structure, but also set out important tasks to improve the effectiveness of the Provincial Party Committee's leadership and direction in the ideological work, propaganda and mass mobilization. Immediately after the Provincial Party Committee's Standing Committee announced the merger decision, the Provincial Party Committee's Propaganda and Mass Mobilization Department promptly and quickly arranged and consolidated the internal apparatus to operate effectively from the beginning of March of 2025, ensuring the continuity in performing the tasks, especially the key tasks. And currently, the board has 5 specialized departments, reducing 1 department, reducing 5 positions and 5 labor contracts compared to before the merger. And thus, after the mergers, the Provincial Party Committee's Propaganda and Mass Mobilization Department was assigned 34 positions and 5 labor contracts by the Standing Committee of Provincial Party Committee. And with proactiveness, creativity and high sense of responsibility, the Propaganda and Mass Mobilization Department of the Provincial Party Committee is determined to successfully carry out the tasks of 2025, contributing to building a strong political system, consolidating and strengthening the people's trust in the party and the state. And on the morning of April 12th, the Trade Union of the Affairs of the People's Committee of the Province organized a sports and cultural day of days to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the south of Vietnam, the reunification of the country, and the 139th anniversary of the International Labor Day and the 79th anniversary of the Vietnam Sports Day. Attending and participating in the activities, there was acting chairman of Provincial People's Committee Nguyễn Hồng Thanh. The sport festival attracted more than 100 athletes, 200 members of the Trade Union of the Provincial Party Committee Office, the Trade Union of Provincial People's Committee Office, and exchange terms from the Provincial Military Command and Fico Tenant Cement Joint Stock Company. The athletes compete enthusiastically in 4 sports: pickleball, tug-of-war, badminton, and karaoke, in which the sport were competed in the men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. The karaoke competition was exciting with the solo performances, and after a day of exciting and enthusiastic competition, the sport festival was a great success, marking the strong development of the sport movement in the agencies and units. At the end of the sport festival, the organizing committee awarded the prizes to athletes with outstanding achievements.
On the morning of April 12th at Banana Mountain Shooting Range, Regiment 174, the Provincial Military Command organized a meeting between the units, local authorities, and families of new soldiers who will join the armies in 2025.
Attending the meeting, there were Colonel Nguyễn Thanh Phong, Political Commissioner of the Provincial Military Command, leaders of provincial departments, branches, and sectors, and relatives of 560 new soldiers. In more than 4 months of training, the province's new soldiers were equipped with a basic content such as political education, the team regulations, safety in using weapons, knowledge about the explosives, physical training, shooting for AK submachine guns, and throwing grenades. And the training results met the requirements. Speaking at the meeting, Colonel Nguyễn Thanh Phong, Political Commissioner of Provincial Military Command, acknowledged the efforts and the clear maturity of the new soldiers. At the same time, he hopes that the local party committee, the government and families will continue to pay attention and closely coordinate with the units in the work of educating and managing soldiers, both as a practical care for their children and as a contribution to helping the units complete its training mission well. On this occasion, 64 soldiers with the most outstanding achievements were commended and rewarded by the regiment and local government also.
On the morning of April 12, the Provincial Association for Supporting Families of Martyrs held a second executive committee conference, the first term 2024-2029. The association was established on September 12, 2024, with 64 members, chaired by Colonel Lê Thành Nam. Since its establishment, the association has coordinated with the Office of the Representative Office of the Vietnam Association for Supporting Families of Martyrs in Ho Chi Minh City to support and relocate the remains of foreign martyrs in the province for burial in their hometowns. Organized visits and presented 50 gifts to the families of martyrs in Dung Châu district. Each gift worth 1 million Vietnam dong and 15 gifts to 15 Vietnamese heroic martyrs in the province. Each gift worth 1.5 million Vietnam dong. The committee approved the regulations on the operation of the Executive Committee of the Association for the term of 2024-2029, decision on the establishment of the Office and Professional Committee, financial regulations, and the Association's operation plan for 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, on April 12, the trade unions of the Office of the People's Committee of Tay Ninh Province organized sport and cultural activity to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the liberations of the South, the reunifications of the country, the 139th anniversary of International Labor Day, and the 79th anniversary of Vietnam Sport Day. Attending and participating in the activities were the action chairmen of the Provincial People's Committee, Nguyễn Hồng Thành.
The sport activities were kicked off with the participation of more than 100 athletes who are members of the Trade Union of Provincial Party Committee Office, members of the Trade Union Office for the Provincial People's Committee, and exchange teams from the Province Military Command and FIGO TayNinhTV Joint Stock Company. In this series of sport activities, many competitions were organized, from badminton, tug-of-war to pickleball, a sport that is becoming increasingly popular, attracting many people to participate and compete. The matches took place in an atmosphere that was both highly competitive and friendly and cohesive, and this turned the sport competition into opportunities to connect and strengthen the solidarity between the union members of the unit. It must be said that the athletes were extremely excited and enthusiastic to participate in these activities. Pickleball is actually a new sport, but many of our athletes enthusiastically participated in practicing and competing with very good results. And the atmosphere of the field are very exciting with the participation of the leaders of the Provincial People's Committee, and it is also a very exciting thing for the union to have the motivation to work better in the future. In addition to the dramatic competition of sports, the karaoke contest also attracted many contestants to participate. The contestants brought to the contest the songs with a theme of praising the party, alcohol, praising the love of the homeland and the country, praising the achievements of the innovation of tenant homelands, praising the workers also. FIGO Cement is very pleased to accompany the Union of Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee to organize a very meaningful program, and today activities were in a very exciting atmosphere. As an athlete as well as participating in the program, it was very emotional, and I hope that these programs will continue to be organized in the near future. And after a day of exciting and enthusiastic competition, the series of sports and cultural activities to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South of Vietnam, organized by the Trade Union of the Office of the People's Committee of the Ninh Province, ended in a joyful and exciting atmosphere. And it is not only an occasion to honor the heroic history of the nation, but also an opportunity for everyone to exercise together, strengthen solidarity, and build a strong relationship between associates and unions. And according to the Provincial Transport Construction Investment Project Management Board, the unit is proposing to extend the term to complete the package number 11 to construct component project 2 through the DT 787B of the Inter-Regional Connection Projects NA 787B and 789. This proposal is meant to ensure the implementation progress when some important items, especially the Kingdom Bridge, have not been completed due to the technical difficulties during the construction. The project started on December 31st of 2021 with a total length of more than 14.8 kilometers, and the construction package is undertaken by a consortium of Haidang Joint Stock Company and Haidang Choir Company Limited. And after 3 extensions, the contract term is currently extended to March the 31st of 2025. However, due to the difficulties in constructing the perforation of the Kendong Bridge, the project was not being completed yet. And currently, the Kendong Bridge has completed the installation of readers and is constructing the cross readers and bridge decks. The construction unit is also completing the approach walls and both ends of the bridge. Given the above situation, the management board proposed to extend the contract implementation period to May the 30th of 2025 to complete the project and related procedures. The Kendong Bắc Bridge crosses the main canal at the east and connecting Lộc Hưng Ward and Hưng Thuận commune of Rang Bang Thau, when with a large volume of the people and vehicle passing through. During the construction period, a temporary bridge is arranged for vehicles under 18 tons, and large vehicles must follow an alternative route.
In the first quarter of 2025, Phước Đông Industry Park continued to be one of the locomotives for attracting FDI into the province. Up to now, this industrial park has attracted nearly 60 domestic and foreign investment projects.
For projects being invested in Phước Đông Industrial Park, most of them are foreign investors with large production scale and investment capital, focusing on the industries of rubber, tire, plastic, mechanical engineering, metal processing, garments, and food. Currently, Phước Đông Industrial Park has nearly 300 hectares of land available for lease, which is expected to increase significantly in the coming time when Phước Đông Industrial Park is implementing Phase 3, adding 650 hectares of clean land, in addition to leasing land to secondary investors to build factories in Phước Đông Industrial Park. It also offers flexible investment products to meet the diverse needs of businesses, such as ready-built warehouse, factories for rent, factories built on demand.
In the context of international economic interaction and participations in free trade agreement, industry in Vietnam, especially textile, footwear, electronics, logistics industries, are facing big challenges: how to ensure occupational safety and hygiene in the workplace.
And this not only protects the health of workers but also directly affects the competitiveness of enterprises in the global market. Vietnam is an important link in the global supply chain, is facing increasing demands on working conditions and production environment. Enterprises must not only comply with domestic occupational safety standards but also meet the strict standards of partner countries, especially when participating in economic agreements. This is considered a decisive factor in maintaining contracts and expanding export markets of enterprises. For exporting goods, one of the current standards must meet the criteria on occupational safety and health, not only of the International Labour Organization but also of other countries. And therefore, to continue to promoting the supply chain of goods, we need to promote occupational safety and health in enterprises, especially in enterprises participating in the international trade agreements. Also has 3 issues that the people are very concerned about: governance, environment, and occupational safety and health, as well as the issues of ensuring standards in production process. Because of the current requirements of many countries, such as Germany and Europe, they are also planning to apply the new law on supply chain inspection. They must ensure that their products, when exported, must ensure that 3 factors above, and therefore occupational safety and health work has been of interest to exporting enterprises for many years now. In order to attract place orders, they must have report survey regulations not only of Vietnam but also international standards. And with the increasingly rapid changes from international markets, investing in occupational safety is a vital factor for the sustainable development of enterprises in a global supply chain. Vietnamese enterprises need to proactively invest in these factors right now, not only to avoid the risks of being taxed, but also to improve the competitiveness and build trust with the international partners. And ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has just signed an official dispatch on promoting tourism development, ensuring double-digit economic growth. In the official dispatch, the Prime Minister requested that the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism to promote tourism promotion, proactively implement the tourism stimulus program for 2025 and the following years, diversify and improve the quality of tourism products and services, accelerating digital transformation and green transformation in tourism development, create favorable conditions for tourists to access tourist destinations, apply convenient and flexible visa policies for tourists, promote propaganda on civilized tourist behavior in tourist areas and sports, ensure security, order, environmental sanitation, and food safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, the draft law on e-commerce proposed regulation to strictly manage subjects participating in e-commerce transactions.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade is currently consulting with Ministry and branches on the development and promulgation of the law on e-commerce. One of the notable points is that the draft law on e-commerce proposed regulations to control subjects participating in transactions and transaction volume in e-commerce because this is still a challenge for state management agencies. Legalizing regulations on subjects participating in e-commerce activities, the rights and obligations of subjects will also create a stable legal framework to help businesses feel secure in investing.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Sơn La province, to rapidly adapt to climate change and protect crop, farmer and cooperative in Mộc Châu Towns have been promoting the application of science and technologies in production, especially proactively investing in the net system to rotate bloom tree in the area.
Mộc Châu district has the largest plum growing areas in Sơn La province with about 3,500 hectares. However, in recent years, hailstorms and whirlwinds have frequently occurred in the area, causing damage to many areas of fruit trees and vegetables and plums also. And to protect crops, especially plum trees, gardeners have invested in a hail protection net system to cover the trees. Normally, we also have to watch the weather every day and every month so that we can periodically monitor the growth of the trees and protect them from impact of the weather environment. And the purpose of making this net is to withstand the weather such as hail. Hail occurs when the plum trees are bearing fruit, and to proactively respond, the Department of Agriculture and Environment of Mộc Châu Town has stepped up propaganda and at the same time instructed the people, especially the farmers, on the technique of netting to protect the plum trees and improve the efficiency of yields as well as prolong the life of the net. In Mộc Châu, the people also implement the science and experience in organizing to cover and harness for plum trees to prevent hail, and thus many areas have avoided hail and limited damage to the people. Along with that, the aviation measures or technical measures to help minimize the level caused by natural disaster. Climate change is becoming a big challenge for agricultural production, and therefore, Mộc Châu Town is continuing to promote the propaganda, instructing the cooperatives and gardeners to shift from traditional production to climate change adaptation, forming agricultural production models applying high technology, contributing to minimizing the risks and developing agriculture in a sustainable direction.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.